Then we had, for no conceivable reason whatsoever, Eric Young versus Bobby Lashley for the Legends title. Maybe the match Lashley won whenever he won his last match was the number one contender's title. I don't know. So Steiner, as promised, attacked him at ringside, right in front of the ref, clotheslines him on the floor. The ref don't care. That's fine, okay? We'll just presume it's a no DQ match. So Lashley gets in the ring. He puts Eric in the Dragon Sleeper. Steiner gets in the ring, hits him with a chair. This is a DQ. Why not?
I just like that they couldn't let Eric Young lose.
Well, he can. He's the champion.
They couldn't book a non-title match. Okay, no. Fine. If Eric Young can't lose, why do they book this match?
I don't know. Because we had to have a run-in. Anyway, so Steiner had Crystal and her titties airbrushed on his shirt, and he put Lashley in the recliner afterwards. So we can now add Steiner, Eric with...
Lashley, Eric with Steiner.
Oh, yeah. I was all confused.
Regardless.
How did Steiner run in his own match?
They have not yet found a way to do that.
Well, they will at some point, I'm
not
sure.
putting it past them.
Rick Steiner did once when he was the mystery man. So then we add the British Invasion in the ring in matching tracksuits.
This is by far the best part of the show. World Elite, they all went out and got matching tracksuits or jumpsuits. They were like white, and they were all in the ring together. They were all wearing them, except Eric Young, who had just wrestled a match, and Homicide, who apparently just said, fuck no, I'm not wearing that.
So, Magnus says, the rumors are true. The invasion has been suspended without pay until Turning Point.
Did you hear a rumor?
I had not.
I didn't hear a rumor.
He explains
Did
that
it start a rumor?
TNA officials were upset at them for punching the ref last week in the cage match for the DQ. Remember that? The cage match that went to a DQ?
Yes.
Yeah. They've been suspended without pay. They proceed to mock the suspension and the fine, which has been levied upon them. And why not? Because they've been suspended, and here they are on TV in a major segment cutting a promo. Hell of a suspension, TNA.
He outright said it was a loophole.
Yes. He says it's not a suspension, it's merely a vacation. We're just going to have fun as we sit here in the ring and tell you about this. So then Eric Young said, I'm now going to make my announcement that is going to rock the wrestling world to its foundations.
And I was hoping with all my heart that his announcement would be that they now had matching tracksuits. That would have been great.
It would have been better. The announcement that is going to rock the wrestling world to its foundations is that the Legends title is dead. He said it is now his title, his championship, his belt, and we could refer to it as the TNA Global Championship. He said there were two rules. Number one, he would never defend the belt on American soil. And number two, he would never defend the belt against an American. Which begs the question, who will he defend against if
all the foreigners are on his own team?
If he is in charge of World Elite?
Yes. Well,
so,
I don't know.
I just like that TNA management suspends the British Invasion for causing a DQ in a cage match, which, by the way, they allowed, apparently. But they suspend them for that, but they're completely fine with Eric Young putting an embargo on their own championship.
Don't know. I don't know. Maybe they realize this is just the fake belt Booker brought in. After a while.
Because they announced on TV that it was now an official company title.
Yeah,
and now he's changing the name and making his own rules, and that's fine. So, anyway, Nash comes out, moving as slowly as a glacier. And he says he wants his $60,000 in his belt back. And Eric said, listen, this should be water under the bridge. And as they're talking, suddenly beer money is in the ring, and they're hitting everybody with chairs and stop signs. I have no fucking idea why, but that's what happened, and this was a clusterfuck.
I do like when Nash said that the Sheik had paid him $60,000 in, and again I quote, Iranian dollars.
Yes.
Dollars.
Iranian dollars.
Iranian dollars.
Vince, you pay slightly more attention to me based on history. Why did beer money run in and attack the British Invasion, the entire World Elite with stop signs and chairs?
I guess because they were angry about losing the cage match last week.
There was that, wasn't there?
It was the title match.
I'd forgotten who was in the cage match. All right. Daniels met with AJ. Wanted to make sure that AJ did not believe the story that Joe had told.
Yes.
A horribly, horribly acted segment.
This is so bad.
And actually, this should tell you what a bad actor AJ is, because Chris Daniels is a trained actor.
Yeah.
And he was fine on the rest of the show. But with AJ, they got into a huge, catty, poorly acted argument, and Daniels finally said, I'm going to go settle this with Joe.
See, I will disagree with you. One of your points is I thought the segment with Joe was just as bad.
Oh, I thought the one with Joe was 100 times better.
But, yes, Daniels met with AJ, and AJ says, don't worry about it. And somehow, this angered Daniels. This doesn't make sense.
That's later. You're getting ahead of yourself.
Well, because he said, what do you mean you don't think it was me? Or something. And yes, the world champion and his top contender, they bickered like 12-year-old girls. And it made me want to never see them again.
Beautiful people came out and skipped to the ring.
They skipped to the ring. They put up a graphic and it said, beautiful people spent $35,000 on a shopping spree in LA during BFG weekend. That's a funny thing to put on the graphic as these girls make their entrance. And that's a cool idea. The problem is, I read very quickly. And I could barely get this in the time it came up on the screen and then disappeared, so they could cut away and show us a replay of that stupid food fight.
We had the beautiful people, and by the way, that includes Lacey Von Erich, against Christy, Hamada, and ODB. A battle this was. Hamada was a one-eyed woman in the land of the blind. Actually, a two-eyed woman in this land of the blind.
Even psychic in the land of the blind.
So anyway, this was a horribly wrestled, a horribly filmed battle. Lacey was in there very momentarily with Hamada, which actually, I'm not going to say what I was thinking, but I got extremely excited. And unfortunately, she tagged out immediately. Made me very sad.
I will say that for the entire segment they were in there, the cameraman shot this from behind Lacey and Velvet, so we just saw their asses.
Yeah.
And I endorse this. I would rather see that than watch Lacey wrestle Hamada.
Oh, no. I badly wanted to see Lacey wrestle Hamada. Badly. So Hamada finally gets the hot hand ODB. ODB runs wild. Of course, nobody's feeding her, so she's running around like a chicken with her head cut off. Bodies are everywhere. It is a complete disaster. And finally, at the finish, think about this. It's a 6-person tag with Christy, Hamada, ODB, the beautiful people. Think about all of the wrestlers you've ever seen in your entire life. Of all the wrestlers on the planet Earth, of all the living wrestlers on the Earth today, the two wrestlers they put into this ring for the finish of this match were Christy Hemme and Lacey Von Erich. Again, I ask, can TNA get some fucking agents with a clue? Lacey gets in there. I don't even know how to explain this. She did a choke slam.
I will tell you, the short version is she hit a choke slam. Hitting this choke slam,
she may as well have been building an airplane.
Yeah, it was like a 14-step process. It was like a Rube Goldberg cartoon where you must, mouse runs down track A, which spins the wheel B, which rotates the crank, etc., etc. She put her hand on Christy's neck, then she grabbed Christy's arm and threw it high in the air, then on her own shoulder, then she waved her hand out and then placed it somewhere on Christy, and then she crouched to lift. It was just like, it was amazing.
Christy Hemme and Lacey Von Erich. Can you believe that this is the finish of your match?
Yes.
They put these two in the fucking ring together for the finish of the match. I don't know.
So they did this choke slam. Lacey got the pin. They cut to ODB on the ramp, who apparently had been watching, and she just looked like she smelled the most foul thing on earth.
And what happens after the match? Kong runs in.
Kong runs in.
Kong ran in and beat everyone up. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Kong ran in to beat everyone up, and Tara ran down to break it up, and we had 6 grown men attempting to tear these women apart, and they all failed. This was some bullshit.